if you want to give someone you care about a gift, you think about what is the best possible gift that I can give. We, as a people and as individual Jews, receive the best possible gift in the whole universe that is possible for an individual and for a nation to receive. We receive the Torah. And happy birthday! This Shavuos coming up is 3,333 years since we received that precious gift. It never goes out of style, and it's always perfect, and it has in it everything that is necessary to live a beautiful and amazing and fulfilling life. The Medrash says, Derech Eretz Kodma La Torah. The Meiri commentary explains, Derech Eretz has many meanings, but he explains that it means character. Character traits precede the Torah. He explains that if we have faulty character and then we study Torah, it doesn't get assimilated into our spiritual system. Like it has with certain foods, when the body is not working right and the nutrition is not getting assimilated properly. So we may take supplements, medications. When it comes to the gift, this precious gift of Torah, impacting, generating the spiritual influence on us and on our families and on the world, we need to precede that with excellent character, striving to improve our character traits as best as possible. Remember the generation of the flood, the Mabul. The Torah tells us why. What was so terrible about the world that God felt that it is time to destroy the world? All the people, except for Noah and his family. The Torah says, Ki mala haaretz chomas. The land was filled with chomas. And what is chomas? Chomas. Interesting as I'm thinking about it now and thinking about Hamas and what's going on in the world. But let's take a look at the word chomas. Chomas means violence, but it also means specifically stealing. And what was going on, according to our commentaries, is the following. This is what permeated throughout the world. It was a kind of theft that you could not collect on. For example, specifically, legally in the time, in those days, there were legal systems. Stealing you'd have to pay back. But if you stole less than a pruta, let's say less than a penny, then there is no legal recourse. You can't take the person to court for stealing less than the value of a penny. So what happened is, a person would have a stand, and he would take out food and put it on his stand to sell. And then a person would come and grab an amount less than the value of a penny. And then another person would come and grab an amount less than a penny. And then another person would come, another person would come, another person would come. And in the end, there'd be no food on the stand for this person to sell, and he'd have no recourse. The entire society was a society based on getting around the law. And people were tortured and oppressed because they had no recourse. This was what permeated in the society. The Vilna Gaon, Rabbi Elijah of Vilna, asks a question. Okay, I understand that the people who are stealing should be destroyed And that's what God understood, and that's what God felt, and that was destroying God's world. But what about the people who were stolen from? Why were they destroyed? They were the victims. And he explains, based on several verses, beautifully, brilliantly, he says that when they responded, when they cried out and called out, they did it, they were over, they gave it the anger and the crying out and the oppressiveness, and their response to the people who were stealing from them was over the line. Yes, they should have responded, but their response too was so, the words, the way they said it, the way they expressed themselves, and the anger that they kept harboring and harboring and harboring and harboring and harboring crossed the line. And because of that, they too were in the same camp as those people who were stealing. The land was filled with this, with those who were perpetrating the crime, and the victims were acting in a terrible way, out of what normal character should be. The yelling was too much, the anger was too much, the cursing was too much. Poorness of character was in the same category as stealing itself. God says, pork stealing? Sorry, you can't be in this world where the whole society is like that. Poor character? Sorry, this is not the world that I created. That's not what I wanted. What a powerful message. As we begin, as we're getting ready to usher in the holiday of Shavuos, where we celebrate the giving of the Torah, let's remember the message that Derech Eretz Kodma Torah, proper character, is necessary for the gift of Torah to permeate within us, and especially at this time, when there's so much pain and anguish and confusion and worry in the world, here and certainly in Eretz Yisrael now. Our study of Torah and our working on our character will build a better world. God said, no Torah study, no character development, this world is not for me. Those are the ingredients that we must take upon ourselves right now, right before at this difficult time. And may we enjoy a beautiful holiday of Shavuos, and may this Shavuos be the last Shavuos that the Jewish people are in exile, and may we see the coming of the Mashiach and peace in the world, bimheira v'yameinu, speedily and soon in our days, and let us say Amen.